Hare Krishna. So we are starting our Friday evening sessions on systematic study of Bhagavad Gita. And Saturday Saturday mornings we are having Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Fridays it will be Bhagavad Gita. So you keep this in your understanding. So whenever we are having classes, I do expect the devotees prepare something, study some sections, and then come for the classes, so that it will be very helpful. For Bhagavatam, we started last Saturday. I suppose devotees were told to read the introduction part of Bhagavatam. In Canto 1, the introduction part to be read and come. So same way we'll have our Bhagavad Gita also, so that slowly and steadily each one of us can win the race. What is that race? That race is to get conviction in Srila Prabhupada books. Why I'm saying race? Because if you don't participate in this race, gradually the material world, Maya, acts in opposite direction. You can swim. If any of you know how to swim and have experience, when you flow along with the current, swimming will be very easy. Within a matter of few minutes, you can cross a lot of length of the river. But if you have to flow backwards, away from opposite to the current, it will be very quite tough. It takes a lot of energy. And if you don't apply that energy, in crossing, then you will be swayed away by that current in another direction. So material world, the Maya, is called as an ocean, Bhavasagara. So in the Bhavasagara, the waves are coming in opposite direction, and you are trying to flow ahead. If you stop, okay, ठीक है, आज के लिए छोड़ देंगे, और इस हफ्ते के लिए छोड़ देंगे, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? एक ही हफ्ता तो है. रीडिंग नहीं किया, चैंटिंग थोड़ा लेट हो रहा है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? चैंटिंग ये तो है, हर दिन तो करता हूँ. जब ऐसा करेंगे तो व्हाट हैपन, द माया देवी, द करंट takes you in opposite direction. And then you find yourself very far from devotee association. You find yourself very far from the faith and conviction which we are supposed to gather by these so many years of practice. I can guarantee most of you are maybe practicing more than a year. Srila Prabhupada disciples who have taken a leadership roles during Prabhupada time in less than a year. Because that faith and conviction they developed. So therefore I'm saying slowly and steadily we should win this race of getting convinced of Srila Prabhupada. Not only his personality, we should also know his pastimes, which we can read from Lilamrita, and also his teachings. Therefore, we are having this humble attempt in learning Prabhupada books or studying in a very systematic way, keeping the mood of Prabhupada intact, without compromising the mood of Prabhupada. It's not for just an educational learning. We are studying Bhagavad Gita, but also to understand the mood and mission of the founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada in order to practice what he has given in a proper way. Obviously, Bhagavad Gita is being nowadays in many areas of field of science and technology and life applications. People are referring to Bhagavad Gita and trying to understand principles and lessons in a very profound way, and trying to apply. But we also see, along with these aspects, the important connection with Prabhupada's mode and mission. So in this way, studying will be very pleasing to Guru and Krishna. It will be very pleasing. Shastra Adhyayana is called as Shastra because it is one of the Shastra. In Vedic times, people, the Kshatriyas used to use two types of weapons, Astra and Shastra. Astra means that physical weapons which can be seen. And the Shastras are like some mantra-based weapons. So the Vedas are also combined, are also called as Shastra. Shastras are also Shastras. By reading them and understanding, learning them, you can develop a very great mental and intellectual, spiritual strength. You get a vision, you get the Viveka Shakti. Viveka Shakti, this concept is being lost over in the modern times. People are losing Viveka Shakti. The reason why they're losing the Viveka Shakti is because people are engaged in very gross and very vulgar sense gratification. There is some sort of sense gratification which is allowed even in the Vedic life. But nowadays people are engaged in a very, very abusive sense gratification, where senses are being abused very strong, to a maximum extent. And because of that abuse, we see that the Viveka Shakti is lost. People cannot discriminate between what is right and what is wrong. And engaged in many, many abnormal activities, which are even difficult to digest hearing that news. So this is happening because of that losing the connection with the Shastras. So being devotees is our responsibility to ensure that we are in a regular touch with the scriptures, especially the books which were recommended by Srila Prabhupada, on which he personally commented. Srila Prabhupada, referring to many other Acharya's works, he has written these commentaries, which we'll be reading the books. So in this particular course of Bhagavad Gita, as it is a systematic study, today we will be specifically highlighting and focusing on the Mahatma, Gita Mahatmya, which was written by, which was composed by Adi Shankaracharya. For many of you who may not be knowing about Adi Shankaracharya, he is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Maya Vadam Ashastratram. So Lord himself, when he saw there were Brahmanas, learned priests, using the scriptures to do abominable things, abominable sinful things, like they were taking shelter of the scriptures. Many of the Brahmanas or many of the intellectual class of people in the earlier days, they were killing animals, especially cows, and they're eating them. And in this way, the Brahmanas who are supposed to protect the Vedic culture are destroying the Vedic culture. Seeing this anomaly, Krishna personally sent Lord Shiva in the incarnation of Adi Shankaracharya. In the beginning he sent Buddha. He himself has come, manifested, Buddha, the enlightened one. And this Buddha, what he did, he stopped the violence which is happening against the animals, referring to scriptures. And that he stopped by denying completely all the Vedas. Because that time Brahmanas were using the Vedas only to kill the animals. So he denied the Vedas. So there's no question of killing animals then. Then, however, the Vedas has to be restored back. You cannot just go in life without taking the guide of scriptures. Human life is very rare and a rare model which will not come always, and it cannot be updated. What we see in the modern updation, everything is getting updated, is it not? Your computer is getting updated, laptop is getting updated, car is getting updated, your job profiles is getting updated. But we are only degrading. As a human, we are degrading year after year, day after day. We are degrading because our touch with the guidebook, the master guidebook is Shastras, that is lost. So Lord wants to restore back the scriptures. Therefore, he has sent Shiva, Lord Shiva, as an incarnation in the form of Adi Shankaracharya to restore the scriptures back. But people lost faith in scriptures, but they believed in the ahimsa principle. So in order to bring that faith in the scriptures, Shankaracharya had to speak the philosophy called Mayavadism, which is a covered Buddhism. Buddha, what philosophy spoke, that only in a covered way Shankaracharya spoke, using scriptures. So that's how this Adi Shankaracharya has come. However, he is Shiva himself. He has a great devotion for Lord. But Mayavadism says that there is no God, or they say that there is only Brahma Jyoti, and we all are merged in the Brahma Jyoti. We also become Brahma Jyoti. That means you're also becoming God. So, speaking such false philosophy, Adi Shankaracharya went around all over the India and established many matas. This philosophy is called false philosophy because whatever is spoken is not true. That who knows, Adi Shankaracharya knew it. But still, as a service to Lord, he did this particular task. However, in the heart of his hearts, he was very deeply devoted to Govinda. Isliye there's a famous song, na? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. This is sung by Adi Shankaracharya. He says, oh Mudamatha, matlab who? Yeah, all of us. He was referring to all of us. Muda, he's saying Muda means as. In Sanskrit, Muda means as, fool number one. Why as is fool? Because even though the grass is available everywhere, still the donkey likes to do hard work. It can normally go and eat the grass, but the donkey feels, no, unless I do hard work whole day, holding the dhobi's clothes on the back, I will not get my carrot. And other donkey who's freely moving around, he's telling, "Arey, donkey, leave the job. Come with me. I'll show a lot of grasses around and you can eat." He said, no, I'm staying with Dhobi. I'm staying with this, what to call this, Dhobi means, Dhobi, the washerman, because the Dhobi once told him, I secretly heard, to his daughter, he told his daughter that if you do any gadbad, I'll get you married to this donkey. So that the donkey is staying back, working hard under the Dhobi, even though so much grass is available freely outside to eat. Why? Because someday will come. उनका दिन बनेगा, उनकी वैलेंटाइन बनेगा, उनकी लवर्स डे बनेगा वो धोबी की कन्या के साथ. So he was expecting that day to come, the donkey. So that's why he's staying back and working hard like that. So here Shankaracharya is telling, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudamati. I said that our mati, the mind, is like mood eyes. Even though you can live very basic life of having a small tract of land of half acre and a cow, you can live sustainably and happily, peacefully. No, who will be ready? I need a high degree. I need a big job. I need a big car. I need a big bungalow. I want to stay in metropolitan city. And I have to want to expand my business. See, this type of attitude, mati, this ko mudamati kehte hain. And to that mudamati, what he's telling? Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. He's telling, hey, take out some time, worship Govinda. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda. So Shankaracharya, this Shankaracharya has personally went in his preaching tour where he was establishing the Mayavada philosophy, and in the heart of his hearts, he was very much connected to Krishna. Therefore, when his mother was also leaving this planet, he personally requested Lord Krishna to appear in front of his mother. And Krishna appeared in front of mother of Shankaracharya and gave darshan before she left that body. She was taking darshan of Lord Krishna, and taking darshan, she left the body. So Shankaracharya, in the heart of hearts, he was very connected. So he has written many Mahatmyas. And this particular Mahatmya, which we are going to share now, it is about Bhagavad Gita. The Gita Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, This book is not just a book, but the book. You understand? It's not a book, it's a the book of Vedas, the Vedas. The Vedas, in earlier time, the Vedas are only one word of knowledge. But this one word of knowledge, people used to just hear and then they used to share with others. But when the time came of Kali Yuga, because people can't remember things. Without having mobile, you can't remember the phone number of your family members also. So in order to facilitate the forgetful and mudas of this Kali Yuga, what the literary incarnation of Lord Krishna, who is a Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is called literary incarnation. This incarnation has appeared only to do that particular job of manifesting the Vedas, which were in sound form, in a book form. The sound form of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, has been brought into book form. Grantha avatar, Grantha, and Grantha way. That happened. That mission was accomplished by Vyasadeva. See how much Krishna is doing for each one of us. Krishna has brought Buddha into picture. Then through Buddha, he stopped people to kill animals. Then he brought Lord Shiva into picture in the form of Adi Shankaracharya. Through Adi Shankaracharya, he has restored back the scriptures. However, the philosophy is kept hidden. And again, he has sent Madhvacharya to establish back the philosophy. And Ramanujacharya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. In this way, Lord comes repeatedly. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam dharmasya tadatmana srijamyaham. So this is a very interesting nature of the Lord. Even though each one of us deny the existence of the Lord, or we want to deny the involvement of the Lord in our life, but Lord always is finding ways and opportunities to come in our life. In a simple way, sometimes in a humble way, sometimes in a very hard way. Somehow or other, Krishna is trying to interfere in our cycle of birth and death and take us out of this. What we are doing is only making chakkar. हम हर दिन चक्कर खा रहे हैं कि नहीं? सुबह उठते हैं, जॉब में जाते हैं, फिर वापस आते हैं, खाते पीते सोते हैं, फिर उठते हैं, फिर जाते हैं जॉब में, फिर काम करके फिर खाते पीते सोते हैं, फिर आते हैं, फिर पढ़ाई करते हैं, फिर जाते हैं. इस तरह ही साइकिल चक्कर. ये चक्कर खुद नहीं चलाते हैं. हाँ, इसमें अपने परिवार को भी जोड़ के चलाते हैं और चाहते हैं कि और भी लोग इसमें जुड़े और भी चक्कर करते रहिए आपके साथ. फिर आप बड़े होने के बाद आप भी कहेंगे बच्चों को आप भी चक्कर करिए इस तरह की, है ना. एंड ये चक्कर हम इस जीवन में नहीं कर रहे हैं, और हर एक जीवन में चक्कर काट रहे हैं. जन्मा मृत्यु जरा व्याधि, जन्मा मृत्यु जरा व्याधि, जन्मा मृत्यु जरा व्याधि. वी आर मेकिंग दिस चक्कर. एंड दिस ये चक्कर से बाहर निकलने का इच्छा कोई प्रकट करेंगे तो उनको कहते हैं हम लेजी फेलो. वो अपना काम से भागना चाहते हैं, काम चोर है. वो साधु बन गया. क्यों साधु बन गया? कुछ करने का नहीं था उनका लाइफ में, इसलिए साधु बन गया. अरे कर तो क्या कर रहे हैं? सिर्फ चक्कर ही मार रहे हैं ना व्यक्ति. ये दुनिया में सिर्फ चक्कर ही मार रहे हैं. He just roaming around. He's not doing anything else. If see something tangible we are doing, we have to ask ourselves, are we doing something tangible which is benefiting the human society? When you say human society, we have maybe each one of us may be working in some some multinational companies, or we may be working for some business only to help, only to benefit someone for something which is there, may not be their necessity. It is just their wants. Whole world is left aside just to fulfill the need of some greedy people, and all of us may be working for them. Frankly speaking, genuinely दूसरों के लिए सोचने वाला सिर्फ भक्त होता है. Only a devotee thinks genuinely for others, and he wants to do something tangible. Not only helping in this life, not only helping people in this life to some extent of just feeding them, to their belly only for a limited satisfaction. Not only that, they are eagerly waiting to help people for lifetimes to come. इस जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि के चक्कर से बाहर निकलने का प्रयास, ये मूड किसका है? भगवान का. Lord becomes very happy now when he sees that each one of any of his devotees are doing endeavor in line with his will. You understand? Lord has certain desires. He wants to fulfill that. The desire is that he wants all of us to come back to him. And if you can do some endeavor in helping people to come back to him, Lord is so pleased with you. मान लीजिए आपकी घर की जो पापा है, बड़े बड़े जो है, उनकी मूड और मिशन को आप अपनाएंगे तो कितना खुशी रहेंगे वो. उसी प्रकार भगवान भी देखना चाहता अपना मानने वाला कौन है इस परिवार में. ये वासुदेव का कुटुंबम में वासुदेव के साथ खड़े होने वाला कितना लोग हैं. वासुदेव के साथ वासुदेव की सेवा में खड़े होने वाले बहुत कम रहते हैं. सिर्फ एक कुटुंब बोलने की, बस बोलने की हिसाब से बोलते हैं, बट करने का जब आते हैं खुद का, उस समय विचार आता है मेरा बहुत कुछ है करने का, मेरा पर चक्कर काटना है, मेरे चक्कर काटना है और दूसरों के भी चक्कर कटवाना है, तो मेरे को समय कहाँ है. So in this way we spend time. But you see, Lord is always thinking about plans about restoring us back into spiritual world. Restoring our real identity as spirit soul. For that he is working hard. And that we can see through Veda Vyas. He has written that one Veda is divided into 4 Vedas. Which all of you know, Yajura, Sama, Rik, Atharva. And after dividing these Vedas into 4, he also has written some Shruti and Smriti. Puranas, Itihasas, they are written in the Purana in the Smriti section as a stories which explain the philosophy. And in the Shruti, there are Veda, Upavedas, Samhitas, Aranyakas, like that the categorization of scriptures has been given. However, after writing all these things, he wanted to bring out, Vedavas has to bring out the essence of all the scriptures. मतलब इतना बुक्स लिखा है, इतना कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया है प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ के लिए भी, इसमें essence of all the instructions क्या होना चाहिए. For that he has given Bhagavad Gita. And this Bhagavad Gita was which Krishna has spoken to many people. To sun god he has spoken many millions of years back. But what Vyasadeva did, he referred to Mahabharata, and in the Mahabharata at the end of Kurukshetra, the beginning of Kurukshetra war, the same discussion, the essence of all the scriptures, those primary and very important instructions, fundamental instructions of entire spiritual knowledge are again repeated by Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield. And those instructions he has again in the written form as they has given to all of us. So we have to see this particular appearance of Bhagavad Gita in a particular. Bhagavad Gita is a knowledge which is there from the beginning. It's not that 5,000 years only the Gita knowledge came out. उसके पहले गीता नहीं था. ये मत सोचिए, गलत धारणा है. भगवद गीता पहले से ही है. गीता की नॉलेज लगभग 2 million years back, only Krishna spoke that knowledge to Vivaswan, the sun god. And that knowledge is very crucial because that encompasses all the basic principles of spiritual life. Fundamental spiritual life topics are given in that. And that covers, very important and critical instructions, and the concepts of spiritual knowledge. Just by reading Bhagavad Gita itself, you can understand that you understood the Vedas completely. But if you don't read Bhagavad Gita and read all of the scriptures, actually you have not completed study of scriptures. But if you read Bhagavad Gita, that means you have completed the study of scriptures. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita has become the basic book. So here Shankaracharya, he he is referring to this Bhagavad Gita and he spoke 7 glories of Bhagavad Gita, which is called as Gita Mahatmya. So I will be sharing here for all of you, so you can see this. And there are 7 verses in this. Yeah. What is this apps? Yeah. How to keep this in 2 categories? Or what is that? No remote control. Yeah, take it. Let us do it. Krishna. Okay. So these 7 verses are there. This is called a Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, spoken by Adi Shankaracharya. This is the photo of Adi Shankaracharya. You see here, he is holding one danda. He is sitting on a tiger skin and under a tree, and he was instructing. He denying the scriptures, but he has given certain instructions which his disciples. You can say Mayavadism was started by him and ended by him. And whatever Mayavadis we see right now, they are actually not actual Mayavadis. There cannot be any real Mayavadi. Because Shankaracharya, this is a false philosophy. And this false philosophy is based on word jugglery, which was given by Adi Shankaracharya himself, Lord Shiva himself, in order to confuse people. And he brought them into particular philosophy called as Mayavadism. And he did this as a service to Lord Krishna. And after doing this service, he went back. So we see Adi Shankaracharya's contribution, which even Vaishnavas accept, is his glorification of Gita Mahatmya, glorification of Bhagavad Gita. So, is it visible?
Yes,
is the verses visible to all of you? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is.
Okay, I will not share this. I will share another one. Share a document. Where is it document? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there are 7 verses. Today, hopefully, we will take 3 verses and discuss on them. And the next 4 verses, we will discuss the next week. And then after those 2 sections, we will be going to the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita, and then accordingly go ahead. Okay. So these verses will explain the importance of Bhagavad Gita more elaborately. Okay. The Shankaracharya verses. So you all try to repeat with your mics muted only after me. Okay. Gita Shastram idam punyam. Maybe one devotee could unmute and then repeat. That will make me understand that we are following. Okay. Any one devotee whose video who would like to do that? Hare Krishna. Yeah, Rajiv Prabhu. Take care. Fine.
Yes, Prabhu.
Gita Shastram idam punyam.
Gita Shastram idam punyam.
Yappatet prayattaman.
Ya patet prayattama puman.
Vishnu padam avapnoti.
Vishnu padam vapnoti.
Bhayashokadi varjita.
Bhayashokadi varjita.
So we see Gita Shastram idam punyam. See, when you say punya, this punya is not about punya and papa of this world. Punya means good and papa means bad. Here, punya means very purifying. Just like when you come in touch with the sun god, Surya, you get purified. Anything you bring in touch of fire, that thing becomes fiery. Is it not? Therefore, fire is considered pure. So same way, Gita Shastram idam punyam. This is very, very punya because just by coming in touch of that, all virtues are developed. Yap patet prayatta kuman. This punya, this Shastra is very punya because whoever came in touch with Bhagavad Gita, I can guarantee you, any of you have not even started Bhagavad Gita reading, you must start it. It's not about reciting and remembering the verses. That is quite purifying because these verses, Bhagavad Gita verses are spoken, most of the verses of 700 are spoken by Krishna. Because you are repeating Krishna's words as it is purifying. However, we see that it's not about reciting and repeating, remembering the verses. It's about understanding the instructions which Krishna gave to Arjuna as it is. Even one instruction out of the many instructions which Krishna gave to Arjuna, even one instruction, if you try to understand and apply it, you can see great benefit in life. You can see that touch, that much touch of Bhagavad Gita can really change your life. It's not that one chapter of Bhagavad Gita is very important than another chapter. It's not that management lessons of Bhagavad Gita are important than the spiritual lessons of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, you can take managerial lessons from Bhagavad Gita also. But more importantly, take the lessons which Arjuna received as it is, without compromising. And if you learn that in that way, you study that in that way, and then you apply it in that way, you can see a lot of transformation in one's life. So therefore, Gita Shastram idam punyam yap patet prayatta puman. Puman. He is referring to the human beings. This particular verses is not for other living entities. Because if you give Bhagavad Gita to any other living entity, they may not appreciate the Bhagavad Gita. Being a human body, you received a human form, which is very rare. This rare form has to be utilized for a rare purpose. The rare purpose is going back to Godhead. And going back to Godhead is possible only when you are referred to the guide. The map, the guide map is given in Bhagavad Gita. When you refer to Bhagavad Gita, you understand where is your destination. You understand what is the means by which you can reach your destination. You understand what is the way, what is the mode of transportation for your destination. All these things come to know from Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, we should refer to it. Every day we are opening the Google map and searching our destinations, where to go, what to do. Why don't we take up this particular guide map? This Gita map. Google map is important, but more important is Gita map. The Gita map will actually take you to the higher destination. And for that, you don't require to pay a lot of money, which you are paying every day for your travels. You have to pay only the price of faith. Shraddha vala mulya. Only Shraddha is expected in this study of Bhagavad Gita. So Gita Shastram idam punyam et patet prayattuma puman Vishnu padam avapnoti. So here the destination is given. What is the destination? Vishnu padam. He will reach the abode of Lord Vishnu, that is Vaikunta. Why it is called Vaikunta? Because Vaikunta, because there Kunta means anxiety, Vai means no anxiety. The place where there is no anxiety. Therefore, Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita the main solution to all our problems of life. We should refer to Bhagavad Gita regularly. One who with a regulated mind is mentioned here. One who with regulated mind recites with devotion this Bhagavad Gita scripture, which is the bestower of all virtue, will attain the holy abode such as Vaikunta. Vishnu Padam Avapnoti Bhaya Shokadi Varjita. The residence of Lord Vishnu, Vaikunta, is free from Bhaya and Shoka. See, in this meta world, we are always beaten left and right by Bhaya and Shoka. Is it not? We have fear of the future and lamentation of the past. It's very natural. By default, each one of us, if we get free time, what we do? Either we fear of about the future or we lament about the past. Interesting, no? You see, our mind works like that. As I mentioned in the beginning of the class, mind is muda, is a fool. He's working hard without thinking whole day. So naturally, whenever he gets free time, he will think about what? Something which is not a very steady thing. What is the steady thing? What is the thing which is not steady? Bhaya and Shoka. There is always a future. So you always will be fearful of future. And there was always a past of all of our lives. And we will lament about the past. And you ask people, okay, can you come for 1 hour of session of Bhagavad Gita? Attend. Can you come to temple and spend 2 hours and serve the cows and take care of the take darshan of deities? And no, they don't have time for that, but they have time for Bhaya and Shoka. They have a lot of time for fearing about the future and a lot of time for lamenting about the past. But when it comes to coming and attending this, which actually you can live in the present in a very healthy way and plan about the future, which will never be like past. For that, if they want to come, no, they don't have time for it. By living in present now properly, just like all of you are doing right now, you are spending this 1.5 hours, whatever you are giving now, right now. This is very going to be help not only in this life, Prabhus and Matajis, ladies and gents. Not only in this life, it will help in your future. Even after you leave this body, which will remain with you maybe perhaps for 60 or 70 years. After that, what will help you is this knowledge, what you are receiving now, which you are going to receive. This Sangha, what you are benefiting, the chanting, what you are doing, and whatever application, life application you are doing through these classes and instructions, that will help you a lot. Don't underestimate the power. Don't underestimate the power of these particular instructions which you are receiving or reading and are trying to apply. So one should not be swayed away. So here it said that Gita Shastra, by coming in touch with this Punya Shastra, purifying Shastra. So material world is called a Dukkalaya. Bhagavad Gita, this particular verses also will come and discuss about it. Dukkalaya. What is Alaya? Alaya means an abode, a temple. Grandalaya, where books are there. Vaidyalaya, Vidyalaya, where Vidya is being given. Vaidjalaya, where medicine, where health care is given. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this material world to be Dukkalaya. Dukkalaya. Alaya means the temple, abode of what? Dukkha, miseries. And this misery is manifest in these 2 ways, Bhaya and Shoka. And there are people who make business out of your fear. And there are people who make movies out of your past. So that's how this whole world is working, running around. Trying to use others' weakness and trying to get benefit of it. So we have to see this material world is a Dukkalaya. That means you cannot avoid the reactions. Either it comes in the form of a Adhyatmika Klesha, Adi Bhautika Klesha, or Adi Daivika Klesha. These reactions will come in life. At this particular junction of time, the whole world is keeping its attention on the Turkey. Turkey and Syria, where the more than 21 to 23,000 people have left their body in just one shake of the earth, earthquake. So people are focusing on that. Uh, People are considering, is this life? That's all. That's how it is going to be. And what is God is going to do about it? Uh, See, the fact that we are in this material world is called Dukkalaya. You cannot avoid being disturbed in this world. So if you cannot avoid being disturbed by all such calamities which come through natural calamities or through other people or through your own mind, the calamities will come. They will affect. But the fact of the life is that even after happening all these things, what you're going to do about it, it's most important. Mm. And a normal materialistic, normal person, he will start blaming. He'll start the blame game. But most important is that not a blame game, but trying to help the people in need and trying to help all the people uh, to uplift their consciousness of understanding the reality of this world and trying to go beyond this world. This knowledge only devotees have, each one of us have. And until we don't share it uh, through Bhagavad Gita, we don't share it, people can't take benefit of it. Or they will just continue blame game. And if that blame game is coming, another case will come for blame game. So unfortunately, people stopped living life, but only criticizing people, criticizing the life itself. They are not living the life; they are criticizing the life. So in these ways, people are spending. So we cannot avoid the reactions. We should be convinced of this fact. So-called endeavors which we are doing to improve our situations in the life, and to get some temporary happiness, from the sufferings which we are going through. That is only endeavor which we can do, materially speaking. We cannot do a permanent solution for our sufferings. We can only get some temporary relief. But as intelligent person, you should not utilize all the time for that. You may spend some time for it, for your own satisfaction in this life. But we should spend a quality time in trying to uplift each one of us and everyone else in your connection, other people, to understand the goal of ours. This life is not all in all. ये जो जीवन आपको आपके साथ है अभी, ये सब पूरा नहीं है. इसके बाद भी कुछ है. इसके बिहाइंड भी देयर इज सो मच टू एक्सप्लोर ऑन. उसको ऊपर क्यों फोकस नहीं कर रहे? इसी ब्लेम गेम में क्यों रहना चाहिए? इसी दुनिया में दुकाल में क्यों रहना है? That is compared to animal life. Animals are living in a particular given periphery, that's all. We are also living in a particular periphery. And that periphery was given the scientists, the politicians, and the big business people. They have given the boundary and they are thinking that is all in all. And we are not thinking about crossing this aspect. So this is very important, that one has to come in touch with the Gita Shastra, Idam Punya. So regular recitation of this, that is very important. Yet patet prayapuman, with regulated mind recited. And how the recitation should happen, how the Gita should be read is explained in the second verse. So somebody can repeat after me. Okay. Rajiv Prabhu, you can only repeat. Gita dhyayana shilasya.
Gita dhyayana shilasya
Pranayama parasya cha.
pranayama parasya cha
Naivi shanti papani.
naiva shantihi papani
Purva janma kritani cha.
purva janma kritani cha.
If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past mistakes will not act upon him. So this is the key solution for crossing this. मैंने बोला ना, जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि की जो चक्कर, हम हर दिन चक्कर मार रहे हैं, हर साल चक्कर मार रहे हैं, और हर जीवन में चक्कर मार रहे हैं. इस चक्कर, जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि के चक्कर से बाहर निकलने का तरीका इधर दिया है. गीता ध्यानाय शीलस्य. One reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely. What is sincerity? What is sincerity? Sincerity means there is a commitment. That means there is eagerness. Sincerity means we have an eagerness. Okay. I am eager to know what is my life is meant for. Yes, I am doing many wonderful things in life. Each one of us secretly believe that we are great. Is it not? How many of you believe that? Each one of you believe very secretly that we are very great than everyone else in the world. That belief each one of us have. And because of that, we hardly feel any need of God or spiritual life or spiritual knowledge or spiritual preceptors or guides. हमारा चलेगा ऐसा ही, लाइफ ऐसा ही चलता है, हमको पता है, एक्सपीरियंस है, हम दूसरों को भी मदद करते हैं, देखते हैं, ऐसा फीलिंग आता है. But here sincerity important. Sincerity means we are humble. We accept that we don't know and we want to know. That is sincerity. Yes, I need association. You feel the necessity of spiritual life. That is the sincerity. You are committed. You are committed to this practice. You are humble to hear. You are humble enough to hear the knowledge, understand that I don't know anything, and you're eager to apply that knowledge within life. That's how the sincerity is expressed. So this way Bhagavad Gita should be heard humbly. So humility means how? You make it a point of regularly attending. Yes, Prabhuji, I know Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. I also give classes on Bhagavad Gita everywhere. I also share Bhagavad Gita knowledge to others. ठीक है, बट आप क्या सुन रहे हैं? सुनने का क्या जरूरी है? तो हम तो पढ़ लिया है, सब कुछ हो गया है. अरे सुनो, कभी कान कान देंगे ना आप, जीवन बच जाएगा. कान नहीं देगा तो नाक देना पड़ेगा बाद में, नाक कट जाएगा. माया देवी ने नाक ऐसा कटाएगा कि आप चेहरा किसी को दिखा नहीं पाएंगे फ्यूचर में. इसलिए पहले ही कान दो, कान दे के सुनो तो नाक बच जाएगा, मुंह बच जाएगा, चेहरा दिखाने का लायक बनेगा, भगवान के सामने चेहरा दिखाने का लायक बनेगा, पूरी दुनिया के सामने चेहरा दिखाने का लायक बनेगा. जब आप ना कान नहीं देंगे सुनने के लिए तो किसी यहाँ का भी नहीं रहेंगे. So it is very important that we humbly hear regularly, and then we are eager to apply that. That's a sincere text to express, and with all seriousness. Seriousness means what? Yes, हम बोल रहे हैं करेंगे but कर नहीं रहे, so there is no seriousness. Seriousness ना, you may think that ना मैं serious है कि नहीं हूँ, दुनिया को क्या दिखेगा, हम दिखा देंगे. But if you are not serious ना, वो दिख जाते हैं. If you are not serious in your practices ना, it is easily visible by devotees. Therefore, with seriousness, it's mentioned. We want to read Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and seriousness. Then, by the grace of the Lord, this is what happens. When you endeavor, Krishna shows mercy. And if you don't do endeavor, then what happens? Still Krishna shows mercy. But in a way, which way will be purified to you. Whether you endeavor or not endeavor, Krishna will show his mercy. Because he is God. He loves you more than we love him. But if you endeavor in his favor, in his will, in his pleasing him, then that mercy will be very much uplifting us. But if you don't endeavor in that way, Krishna's mercy will surely come, but in a way which will be very much purifying, and it may not be pleasant to you the way it is. Whether you forcefully want to surrender to Krishna or very happily want to surrender to Krishna, that choice is with us. Choice is with you. एक जन्म चक्कर से आप खुद निकलना चाहते हैं और फोर्सफुली भगवान निकालने का प्रयास करेगा, कौन सा चीज अच्छा रहेगा? तो इज्जत से तुम खुद निकलने का प्रयास करेंगे ना, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा लाइफ के लिए, एग्जाम्पलरी बनेगा लाइफ. So that is what is being sincerity. By being sincere, you can be exemplary. If you are not sincere, you will become an example. You will become an case study for others. You understand? If you are sincere, we become exemplary. If you are not sincere, we become an example to people. अरे एक ऐसा डिवोटी था, ऐसा ऐसा करते थे, बस एक दिन फंस गया है, पूरा बुरा भगवान इस तरफ कर दिए कर दिए कर दिए, अभी कहाँ रहा पता नहीं, किसी को पता नहीं किधर है वो। ऐसे एग्जाम्पल नहीं बनना चाहिए, हाँ, एग्जाम्पलरी बनना चाहिए। और एग्जाम्पलरी बनने के लिए सिंसियरिटी में 3 एस्पेक्ट्स: ईगरनेस, हम्बली टू हियर, ईगर टू प्रैक्टिस, and committed to that path. That means what? Committed to reading Bhagavad Gita. Yes, every aspect of spiritual knowledge, basic concepts, foundational concepts, everything is given in Bhagavad Gita. That conviction, that you have to be convinced about that fact and be committed to it. Committed to be read Bhagavad Gita. If you commit to read Bhagavad Gita like that, you can find many benefits out of it. So today we have taken these 2 verses, and thank all of you for your participation. In the next class, we will continue the next 5 verses of Gita Mahatmya, which is a glorification given by Adi Shankaracharya, referring to Bhagavad Gita, Gita Mahatmya. So today, just to recapitulate whatever we have discussed today in today's session, we are mentioning about the importance of how Krishna shows his protection to his devotees, protection to all the living entities in various forms. And in that only we were discussing about how Shankaracharya, Buddha, and Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya appeared in order to gradually bring back people to the track. And we also discussed about how it is important that we also sincerely take this point of hearing, studying regularly, coming in touch with these great books, trying to understand those principles in a very profound way and try to apply. So with this, I would like to conclude here. So anyone has any question related to what we discussed today, they can ask. So I will stop the recording here. Hare Krishna.